excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast.
I'm John. Fuck capitalism!
I'm Lindsay, trying to write horror novels because I was a weird kid.
The whole world is a urinal.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Hello!
Better.
You want more? Better, but you can still do better. This is Just Another Horror Podcast, and welcome to it. I am John.
I am Lindsay.
I'm M.
God, I suck. This week we're doing The Loved Ones. This is Lindsay's pick, and I'm going to ask the same dumb question again.
Okay.
That's your last pick. How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I guess I feel alright.
Are you happy with all your picks that you've done?
Yeah, I think so pretty much. I think I might be the only one that actually liked this movie. I'm not sure yet, but I did like it.
I'm not telling you nothing.
When Brent turns down his classmate Lola's invitation to the prom, she concocts a wildly violent plan for revenge.
Simple. And this gets a 96% on here? Or where's it get the 96% at?
Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
That's
Did it have a
insane.
98% on there? I feel like it was 98%, but I could be wrong.
I think you might be right. I mean, it's high 90s.
Yes, 98%.
Yeah. So, and Rotten Tomatoes is viewers, right? That's not critics.
Right.
So, sorry,
well, actually,
Em.
I think they have both. I think they have two different ratings, actually. One for viewers and one for critics.
And that's the overall one, then? That's
As
like...
far as I know.
I have no idea. Huh. Oh, well, anyway, did anybody watch anything?
Oh, we went to see The Menu.
Oh, yeah, we did. That movie rules.
Have you
I
heard
haven't
about
seen it? I saw the preview for it, but I haven't seen it.
It was amazing.
It was really good?
I raved about it for like 3 paragraphs. So, high recommend, at least for me. What about you?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell a lot from the preview. I don't know exactly where it's going, but
Yeah,
I'm curious.
they kept it vague
Yeah.
so that you wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have to, it unfolds, you know.
Yeah, it's like you're part of the dinner guests, kind of.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you really don't
Yeah.
have, it's not like a movie that you have any kind of inside information.
Right.
Like, you're figuring out what's going on at the same time as everybody else.
That Anya Taylor-Joy, she's in like a lot of movies lately.
I love her.
When I went to the movies last time, I think she was in 3 of the previews. Like, The Menu was one of the previews, and I forget what the other ones were, but
Yeah.
she was in at least a couple of the previews.
You watch anything, Lindsay?
Not that I can remember right now. I, again, have been busy.
That's okay.
I mean, I was watching some of that Jeffrey Dahmer series, but I haven't.
How is that?
It's interesting. I do feel like making something like that on something that really happened is kind of sensationalizing it and like kind of glamorizing it in a way, but it really is an interesting story, and Evan Peters is doing a really good job.
He's amazing.
For sure.
And
I really
everything
like
he's
him.
Is it like a limited series, or is
Yeah,
it
I think it's just like a mini
Like
series kind of
7
thing. Like, I think there's 10
episodes or
episodes. If I could be wrong about that. I think there's like 10 episodes. Ryan Murphy did it. He does like American Horror Story, so it
Okay.
makes sense that Evan Peters is in there. But it is pretty good. What I've
I
seen
know
so
at
far.
some point they start focusing on one of the victims more. I don't remember which one it is, but that helps a little bit, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm only like halfway through, so
Oh, okay.
we'll see.
So this movie, it was released in 2009.
I'm assuming it was like Australia in 2009 and then America in 2012, but I don't know.
You know this. We looked it up. Remember?
We did look it up. Oh shit! It was at a film festival first.
The Toronto International Film Festival
I have
in
wrong.
2009.
Okay.
And my guess is it was a hit there, but then for some reason wasn't released here.
Hmm.
And then I know that like one of the reviews that she was reading was like, they do stuff in this movie that you couldn't do in a mainstream movie. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
That's what a lot of the critics were saying. It's an indie film that could do things that you couldn't do with a big budget movie, I guess.
That makes sense.
I mean, it doesn't have like mainstream appeal, but
True. Has mainstream horror fan appeal, but
yeah.
Toronto Film Festival, September 2009. Australia, November 2010. And then I don't have a U.S. release date.
It's probably 2012.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my guess. Because you see 2009 and you see 2012, like which
Yeah, I
time
was
did
kinda
it come out?
confused, yeah.
Oh, Dallas Film Festival and South by Southwest 2010.
You've seen this before.
I hadn't seen
You
it before
hadn't?
this, no.
Okay. I did. I fell asleep. It's not the movie's fault. I was tired.
Okay.
So, but because of that, I didn't remember anything.
Being tired affects my opinion of movies so drastically. Like, I can watch a movie when I'm tired and think, I didn't like this at all.
Mhm.
And then I watch it a second time when I'm not tired, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, this is really good.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're not going to keep me awake, don't waste my time. So,
If I'm in a bad mood, I won't like a movie. Pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
the main character's name is Brent. And the movie starts out with him driving with his dad, and they're joking around. And some crazy person is in the middle of the road. At least you think it's a crazy person. And they swerve and hit a tree. So the dad's dead. Which makes Brent, struggle.
Yeah,
Quite a
because
bit.
he feels like it's his fault that his dad died, even though it's not really his fault.
And his mom never makes it clear if she blames him or not.
Yeah.
It's never really, they ask her, but she doesn't answer.
Mhm.
So,
If she doesn't answer, then she
probably
must.
does. Yeah.
I think the lack of answer is telling.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, they both look really bad.
hmm
Like,
the mom looks dead.
Mhm.
Like she's rough.
right.
Yeah.
So,
And he's,
And he's
up
cutting
his drug
himself,
usage. And, oh,
and-
right, cutting himself. I forgot about that.
he's got a razor blade on a necklace that he carries around and cuts himself with.
Yeah. Like, you see his side at the one point, and it's just filled with cuts.
So he's standing in his locker and talking to his friend,
Jamie,
thank you, Jamie, and some goth girl walks by. What's her name?
Mia.
Thank you. You're on. Yeah. So Mia walks by and Jamie goes, and 3 seconds later he's like, "Oh yeah, she said yes." I'm like, "Damn,
That
you were
was
like,
fast.
wow."
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to say yes.
They didn't seem like a match.
Right.
So it turns out that because we're being thrust into the middle of something, Lola has made this entire town miserable. Basically,
Well, you don't know that.
you don't know
though.
that at first, but
No.
it turns out that everyone.
No. When she first comes on the screen, I'm like, oh, she's a really shy girl. I kind of feel bad for her.
But
Right?
she's kind of creepy how she just shows up and
Mhm.
she doesn't speak, and he's like, "Hi," and she's just like, "Will you go to the dance with me?"
He apologizes, is very nice
Oh,
about
he's so
it.
nice about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm going with Holly," his girlfriend, expectedly. Of course he's going with his girlfriend.
Right, and she would have known that.
Yeah.
Yes?
I almost wonder if she asks people that she knows are going to say no, so that she can do this.
That's a good question. She mentions later that she's always been looking for her dad, so why is she... I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, she's
Her
looking for her
motivations are-
prince, and then she realizes, oh,
It was
my
you,
dad's
Dad.
the prince.
Blah.
Creepy.
Oh, yeah, there's some incest in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, a lot happens all at once, too. His girlfriend is...
Holly? Oh, sorry.
Hey!
You were pointing at her, and I'm answering.
Holly! It's Holly, that's right. And he tells Holly, Lola asked me out. He doesn't say it at first, but at the
Yeah,
last
he won't
minute.
tell her, but then when he's getting out, only because she told him that she loved him, and he didn't want to answer that, so then he's like, well, I guess I'll just tell her who
She
asked
called
me.
him emotionally retarded. And he just kind of walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't... Holly was not... I wasn't a huge fan of Holly.
Mm-mm.
I was
Me
really
neither.
fighting for her.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
She wasn't in a lot of peril till the end. So, but yeah, I agree with you. So, he goes home and his mom is like, you can't go to the dance because you don't have a ride. And she's like, well, he's like, Holly got her license today. And she's worried that she's too young, and so...
So she spent the last 6 months basically not letting him get in a car.
Right.
Is that because of the car accident
Yeah.
with his dad?
Or he could
I
take
feel
a
like
taxi,
he doesn't
I
really
think,
want
too.
to either, though, right? Because he does feel responsible.
Right. Although somebody... Does he walk to school? How do you get to
Maybe
school?
his mom drives him?
Oh, that could be, too. Holly says, are you going to have her come pick you up? Right?
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to have to tell her at some point
Mm-hmm.
that I got my license and I can drive you now.
Yep.
I think
So
is what she said.
she doesn't take that well, so he goes off to go run around in the woods, cut himself, and
Go
climb.
rock climbing.
Go rock climbing.
Which, comes back later.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you glad I pointed that out?
I am. Yeah.
When he's rock climbing, like, you know, like, he seems so depressed and, like, he could be suicidal, but when he almost does fall, you can tell he doesn't really want to. You know, he doesn't actually want to die because he still...
I feel like he's hanging there thinking about it.
Yeah, he's thinking about it, but then he's like, no, I don't want to do that. So...
Yeah, so that means he has the will to live, which I don't think Lola counted on,
Yeah.
honestly. Plus, he beats the shit out of himself, so also Lola didn't count on that either.
Right, yeah.
He
I
can
think
take a lot.
that, like, makes it so he can handle a lot more pain. Even though it's not cutting. I mean, I've never cut myself, but like cutting yourself is a total different thing than the kind of stuff he has to go through, though. So.
Yeah. Nobody gets depressed and
quite.
drives a knife through their foot with a hammer.
No, nobody's drilling holes in their own heads or anything. We have a guest here.
Just wait.
With
Oh yeah, our producer didn't like that very much. Some guy just pops up out of nowhere and chloroforms him or something. I don't know, knocks
I
him
think
out
that
with
was what
something.
it was, chloroform.
I did not take notes.
I didn't either. I really meant to, but...
I'm reading it on Wikipedia, and it's skipping almost everything that has to do with Mia and that other guy.
Okay.
So, you guys have to jump in and stop me from just going and going and going, because I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. Well, first he goes and picks her up, and she's just, like, ready to leave, but then her parents come out, and they're like, wait, we want to get a picture and everything. Oh, and the dog is trying to, like, go for his dick.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got weed in his
Because he
pocket,
has
right?
weed in there,
Yeah.
and they're like, what's he doing?
That's right.
The parents are very
The
down.
dad's a cop.
Yeah.
Right, that's important. Yeah. So, yeah, the parents are also really, really down and depressed, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
So,
And you're not
And
sure
the
why
girl,
Mia is
she
the
obviously
way-
has issues, but you don't know why.
so that's when Brent wakes up, and he's tied up, and it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre time, because it's just Lola, her dad, and some lady named Bright Eyes, who turns out to be Lola's mom, who has a hole drilled in her head, and,
That's, like, scabbed over at that point.
and she's just kind of staring at the table.
Lola's got her nice prom dress on that her
Not
dad
yet.
brought her
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. And her dad stands there and watches her put it on, and it's gross.
Ugh.
It's...
It's like he's kind of trying not to look.
He tries to
but,
leave, and she's like, I want you to see me try on. So then he's just like, meh, like that wolf from the Bugs Bunny cartoons. Am I the only one that remembers that?
The wolf? What
Yeah,
wolf?
the one that's like, its eyeballs pop. Yeah, she knows.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't know it was a wolf.
I don't remember. I think it's
Or coyote?
something.
I don't know.
No one knows. Okay.
All right.
Someone out there screaming, it's a wolf! It's a wolf!
It probably is.
So the first thing they decide to do to poor Brent is make it so he can't speak, so they inject bleach. Ooh. We wondered what that was.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
I had to look that up because I was like, I couldn't tell from the bottle, but supposedly it was bleach injected into like his voice box so that his vocal cords didn't work. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I do.
I think he has to use the bathroom after they beat the shit out of him. I don't know what
He
exactly
said he
did,
had to
but-
pee
Yeah.
because he's... Well, he didn't say it. He was just like...
Toilet.
Oh,
Like, she
first-
got that he was
Toilet, yeah.
saying.
First is the finger licking good, which
The
Is that
chicken.
before that?
that was enough to make me want to throw up, but we're not
Yeah.
even started yet.
No.
So she keeps making him. It's not even Kentucky Fried Chicken.
They
What an
stopped.
asshole.
They showed his car stopping at a chicken place,
Yeah,
right?
and also picking up roadkill.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
don't know why that is yet.
Oh, they're just like stuffing chicken into his face. And I was telling her, if you ever wake up trapped to a chair and people are trying to feed you, just eat
Just
it.
eat it,
Just
yeah.
eat it. I mean,
Do the whole thing that you did.
I can't
You were
remember
like,
what it
oh, this chicken is delicious. Where did
It
you
is
get
finger
it?
licking good.
May I have another piece, please?
You have enough, like I can have several pieces? This is amazing.
But I know, like, when I have anxiety, I can't eat. And, I mean,
Nah.
imagine how much anxiety he's got
That's
when
true.
he's, like, strapped to a chair and people are torturing him.
So she makes him suck on her finger for a while until the dad
To
gets
prove that
jealous.
it's really finger-licking good.
Ew.
Yeah.
I want to see that with the Colonel. I want to see the Colonel walking around stuffing his finger in people's faces. So-
and then how she is to Bright Eyes too is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And she's trying to stuff it in her face, and then she tries to pour milk down her throat, and it's all just coming out her mouth.
And she pulled her hair when they were taking the picture.
Yeah. And the
It's all
dad
'cause
just thought it was
she's-
because of the flash of the camera that she flinched so bad, but it was because of her. But I guess that's just showing how sadistic she is, that she just
She's
is like that
jealous.
towards everyone other than her dad.
She's jealous of her own mom.
yeah,
Gross.
definitely.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Do you think that her dad was like that before Lola was born, and he did that to the mother originally, or did he do that to her because Lola wanted him to? Or
How
like,
did it get
it's
to
not
this point?
explained.
I think he
you
had to be
know?
the driving force.
Okay.
She's not born wanting to torture and drill holes in people's heads. And
Well, this
I
is
don't
this is
know.
the first time that
Right,
she's ever drilled.
yeah.
Into,
right, so
done
he's
it all.
done it in the past. I feel like he takes the lead. She then is the way she is because of him, and now it's like the two of them together.
But also, he seems like he's really trying to please his daughter and do whatever she tells him to. So, like, she could have been the one, like, oh, like, well, I want to get these guys. You have to drill this hole into their head. Like, maybe she made him drill the hole into her mother's head too. You don't know.
I
for
feel
sure.
like it's feeding both ways.
Yeah.
He is doing that, like, he obviously did this to her mom.
I'm
She
just
gets
curious-
approval for wanting to do that too. He gets, her whatever
Love.
admiration, respect,
Yeah.
whatever for doing it for her,
Right.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I would like to know if, like, the mother was just originally a victim of his and he got her and did, like, what she's doing to these guys, or was she, like, married to him and, like, eventually he did this to her? I have no idea.
No idea.
This is not how a lobotomy is done.
right.
Well, no.
So how long has the mom had a hole drilled in her head? How long can you live with a scabbed over hole drilled in your head?
Who knows?
No idea. I mean,
Yeah.
she's basically a vegetable.
Yeah, I mean,
She can move around though because they have to lock her in her bedroom
Right.
to keep her from getting out.
which she's not gonna go far. I don't think. I don't think she has any will to escape. She's just kind of like trapped in her own body. So
Yeah. At least not.
yeah,
Dahmer.
It is, yes.
That's actually, I said something to Alex about how they were drilling a hole in somebody's head, and one of the two of them said, "Oh, like Dahmer."
They do it differently in
The
this,
drilling
though.
and the bleach is both kind of like Dahmer.
he would dump stuff in the holes in their heads so that they would be sex slaves, but he killed them. And that's kind of what they do here. They have the hot water that they pour into the hole in the head.
Right, boiling water, but they don't want to actually kill them. They want to keep them alive as, like, pets, kind of.
What is going on with that? Why?
I don't know.
We'll get there, but that
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Can you drill a hole in somebody's head and they still live for however long?
I don't
guess if
know.
you don't penetrate the
Because
skull?
I've been like, is this realistic? Like, could people really do that and they wouldn't die? I don't know.
Just the blood loss alone.
They
Plus
just they
his
can't
feet-
drill too far. They have to drill to at a certain point, but stop.
He
before
said
it's too-
just break the skull, but don't go any further.
Yeah, because you don't want to actually drill into the brain. They just want to get it close enough that they can pour the water in and it'll boil the brain.
Where did they learn to do a lobotomy from?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Did they,
that's
like,
not
come
a
up with that?
lobotomy.
Exactly.
Nope. I wonder if they experimented and
Rookies.
just like.
You want to see a real lobotomy?
Hand him like a little thing. What are those things called? A little,
Crochet hooks.
yeah, and a little hammer, and then be like, what the hell is this? Weak. So she also has a scrapbook of all of the other people that she's done this to. And what really made my stomach churn, which is surprising because you know how much I like kids being murdered in horror movies, but they did it to a bunch of little kids. Which
When she
really-
was little.
When she was little. Including carving shit on their chest.
Yeah.
Which, ugh.
She does that with a fork.
You want to have them explode into a billion pieces? Fine. Don't drill in their heads and carve on them.
Yeah. And she's showing him this like it's just a fun family album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
And he's
oh,
in there too.
Yeah. And she's talking about how funny it is. This one peed his pants. Ah, ha, ha.
Ugh.
Like,
So she makes him pee into an empty milk cup.
yeah, because he says he has to go to the bathroom, and then when she tries to get him to go, he can't. She's like, "Were you telling Porky Pies?" like
Oh
lies.
Fuck Australia.
I remember
and
you
their
were like,
giant
what does that mean?
spiders.
And I was like, porky pies, like lies. It rhymes with lies. That's all I
Right.
could think of.
So then they get
Ridiculous.
the dad gets a hammer because she tells him to.
Yeah, to the count of 10 to piss, or I'll hammer your dick to this chair.
Yeah, they were gonna put a nail through it and just. But luckily, on the count of 9, he starts peeing.
I would have been peeing the whole time nonstop.
Yeah, but
All
I mean,
day.
like, when
But-
you're that nervous, it could make it hard.
I guess if you have to pee, yeah, but I will piss my pants.
Yeah.
In that situation. So he takes that opportunity to kick her across the. They mentioned.
Brent kicks Lola.
Yeah, Brent
Yeah.
kicks. He, her, he, she, he. Yep. I'm not really doing much
He
with this.
kicks her.
Right. So, also, I forgot to bring up that one of the kids in the book is named Timmy Valentine, and the girl that boy took to the dance is named Mia Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
So that explains everything.
Yep.
But I wasn't
didn't-
paying attention.
I didn't see that.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice that either, actually.
And even when they showed the picture of her and him at the end, I thought maybe that was an ex-boyfriend of hers.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch
I
that it was her
automatically
brother.
thought brother, but
And it turns out it's the guy who was in the middle of the road at the beginning of the movie that
Yeah.
they swerved because he got away. So, what this means is Lola has been wrecking the entire community by stealing everybody's kids and lobotomizing them
And
Yeah.
torturing them.
and torturing them because they won't go to a dance with her, or, I don't know, go on a date with her. I have no idea what. Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes she was just like, that kid right there, mean. So,
because I doubt it's really just that she's just so upset that they rejected her. I mean, she enjoys doing this.
oh yeah, she's sadistic as fuck. Brent kicks Lola. There, I got it. And tries to escape because he's been using his razor blade to cut his ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe they make the same mistake twice and let him do this again later.
Right. Did he use his razor blade the first time, or did he just get it untied?
I don't know.
Because I didn't see the razor blade until later. He, like, got it out of his pocket, and I feel like
Did he
the
get
first
his
time
hand-
he
I don't
maybe
think
got it untied.
He didn't have his hands untied, did he?
Oh,
he
right,
Just, his feet were free. Or he got...
He did have his feet nailed into the boards at this point. Did he use
No,
them?
Not
not
when he
yet.
kicked
No,
her.
not yet.
Not when he
Because
kicked-
it was
that's-
after they got him back after he escaped. That's when he
Okay.
did that.
That's why they nailed him. Yeah.
But when he escaped, like, the father was concerned with the daughter at first, but then he's like, "Oh no, he escaped. I better go chase after him."
I
And
didn't get very far.
nope, he gets in the car to go look for him, and then sees him right there. So follows him as he chases him up a tree.
Climbs like a 10-foot tree and just sits there, and they throw rocks at him until he falls out of the tree.
Yeah.
Which they think is just so fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I would have been hit with a million rocks before I would have let go of that tree.
Oh, yeah.
I think they
Like-
got him in the head where he just like.
It looked like he was out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, like
All right,
knocked him
fine.
out and then.
Fine. I'm all like, I would have been able to handle this situation. Like, you... He
Eat the
is such
chicken,
a rookie.
pee your pants, and let the rocks hit you. It's all good. You're fine.
Yeah.
So when they bring him back in, that's when they nail the knives through his feet. Which,
Yeah, like. Oh.
But at this point, I was like, this guy can probably take it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Really? Oh, God.
Like, he's been beating the shit out of himself for a long time. He
And
can
that's when
handle
she's
this.
sitting on his lap and trying to make him cry. She just keeps demanding that he cries as he's got this knife being hammered through his foot,
Yeah.
and he can't cry.
Well, I think he's like doing it to be like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Maybe.
Back at the prom, Mia
and Jamie.
Jamie, okay, are sitting in a car and they're just smoking pot, drinking vodka, just getting wasted.
Chugging it.
Yeah, they don't really want to go inside.
Well, especially her.
She does not want to go in there. She just wanted to get out of her house, I think.
Yeah.
And he has
And
no
she knew
idea.
that he had, like, weed, and she just wanted anything that she could to, like, stop her
Numb,
pain.
Yeah. He has no idea what he's gotten
No.
himself into. So,
It is really funny when he gets out of the car and he's trying to be all smooth and, like, slide, and he
I
just,
love
like,
it.
falls right onto the ground. And then he just pretends it doesn't happen and opens her door. My lady.
There are some comedic parts to
There
this.
are.
I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah.
they did mix them in.
And I think they had to have that little bit of lightness in there because otherwise it would be just too dark.
have you ever seen The Last House on the Left?
Yeah. I've seen the original and the remake.
This is how you do comedy correctly in a movie like this.
Mhm.
Last House on the Left did it completely wrong.
Yeah.
They had those two dudes driving around with chickens and the two cops who were stupid.
Right, yeah.
And it, like, they would cut from torture to these two cops, and it played like this lighthearted boop, 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 boop.
It wasn't actually funny.
Now we get to have the prom king and queen crowned, which are these little paper crowns. Eric is the name of the dad, right? And this is when Lola tells her dad, you know, I've been looking for men all these years. Prince, right? She's looking for a prince.
Yeah, she's been looking for her prince, but she can't find him because it's always been him.
First, she dances with Brent, whose feet are still nailed into the floor.
Right, yeah.
Great.
And then the dad cuts in.
Good.
Cuts in.
I don't know what's worse. This girl dancing with her dad and telling her that she loves her, or her dancing around with a guy with knives in his feet.
Also, we skipped over when she, like, carved her drawing into him and then threw salt on the wound and all that.
Oh,
like,
that's right. I was like, what is that? What are they throwing on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried
Her
to
dad's
push
like,
that out of
oh,
my head.
your artwork gets better every time.
Jesus.
Like, she just puts a heart with, like, her initials on his...
I just watched
body.
Terrifier 2, and this salt scene is not so bad in comparison to that.
Really?
Lola wants to drill a hole into his skull because he's not Prince
Okay.
Charming.
Is that why?
That's why. And he's going to go join the other ones in the basement, which it turns out there's like all of the other people that she's done this to are still alive, but they're savages.
Yeah, they just make these screeching sounds
Yeah.
because of the bleach.
And that's what the roadkill was for, so they could feed them roadkill.
Yeah, and they just, like, pour water down into this hole in their living room and throw the roadkill down for them to eat.
Yep, and that is where Brent's going next. So...
And the dad.
Eventually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, they try to drill a hole in Brent's head, which I kept saying to her, they can't do this, right? He's not gonna die here, right?
Right, yeah.
And they just kept doing it, and then she was like, it's not far enough, Dad, you need to finish it. And then he did it again, and I'm like, oh my god!
I mean, she had the hole, and the dad thought it was perfect, but when she went to boil the boiling water, she poured it onto her dad, and he was like, no, you've got to, like, tip it farther, and she tried again, and she's like, the hole's not big enough, can you please make it bigger? Like, because she was afraid she was gonna miss the hole again, so...
That scene turned me off this movie, sorry.
That's
Yeah.
when I checked
Well,
out.
when I was watching that, I was just like, I didn't know how far with it they were really gonna go. But, like, they don't really show.
Right.
They
So,
don't
I
technically
mean,
show.
Yeah.
But his face,
And the
when,
sounds he's
when
making,
he's
even though he
looking
can't
up, the
scream.
sounds he's making, the sound of the drill,
Yeah.
like, that kept me from sleeping for a few
Yeah.
nights.
Damn.
I mean, the acting was really good in this. Like,
Yeah, I
I think
will
he
give
did
it
such
that.
a good job.
They were all good all
They
across
all
the
did a
board.
good job.
Yeah.
I know. That's why rating this one and the next one is going to be so weird.
Because you didn't like it, but yet you have to admit
Everybody
that-
put in
basically
110% on this. So now Brent gets loose again, this time with the razor blade.
Yeah.
Right. And stabs the dad to death in the neck.
Yeah, he gets the knives out of his feet and stabs him with that.
Mm-hmm. Which causes Lola to...
Well, and then
I
he
don't know,
falls
he's-
back into the
He
pit,
falls into the pit.
Yeah.
where the
He pushes him in there,
monster
doesn't he?
people.
Where the
I'm
ex-
pretty sure. Doesn't
Oh,
Brent
yeah, he does
in?
push him.
Yeah.
Yep.
where the ex-boyfriends then eat him.
Yep.
But then
Right.
Lola's so upset and she tries to get him, but he knocks... Well, you think he kind of knocks her out, but not totally.
Of
And then
course.
he's, like, looking down into the...
And you
what do
see her right there.
Yeah.
Which he
But
shouldn't
he's
have
like
hung around,
holding
man.
on then, and
Mhm.
but she like puts a hammer and he like has to let go. So, but he survives the fall. But then he's down there with all those.
Does he kill all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? Like, they didn't really... It was kind of dark and you couldn't really see
Yeah,
what
The
was
I feel
last
like
thing
they-
you see with them is like he's in a corner and there's 3 of them coming, and when it cuts back, they're all dead. So
Yeah.
you gotta assume he killed all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, maybe... Did he still have the razor blade?
that could
No,
be.
she had the razor blade.
Oh, right. She took
Because
it.
she
and-
took it and she put it around her neck before she left to go.
Did
stab
he have
his
the
mommy.
knife? Did he have the knife
I
still?
think maybe he did still
From-
have the knife.
That could be.
That might have been. Because she threw some stuff down there.
She was throwing
and I don't
everything
know-
down there. She's just like, just grabbing anything she could.
Okay.
And then she was like, I'm gonna go stab your mummy in the neck like you stabbed my dad.
And
So-
also your girlfriend. You can kill
Right,
her
and then
too.
stab her in the heart like you did to me.
Right. But first she had to
Emo.
take... She had
Right.
she had to take care of some business and go kill her mom first.
Right.
So-
Oh, right, yeah, she needed to kill Bright Eyes.
Which
and
she just
smothered her.
us. Her,
Why
yeah.
did they call her Bright Eyes?
I wonder if it was because after her lobotomy, she still seemed more, like, with it and bright-eyed or something than the other victims did. Like, I don't know.
Kind of ironic. Like,
I think it's
Yeah.
because she's emo and Bright Eyes is an emo band.
Right, yeah, maybe that's why.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm not serious though. That's not why.
Oh, I was
No.
gonna be like, how'd you know she was emo?
I'm gonna stab her in the heart like you did to me. Yeah,
Write
that's
a
pretty
song
emo.
about it.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised she just wanted to smother Bright Eyes. I thought she'd do something a little more
Brutal, considering
yeah.
how. Yeah.
Well, she had other people to kill. So.
True. She
Got a
might
lot to
just
do. Not a lot of time.
Get through that quickly.
Plus, she doesn't have a car, so she's walking. So.
I wonder. Yeah. No, she didn't leave before the cop got there. So she could
Yeah,
have
she killed the
taken
cop.
the cop car. I wonder why she
Oh,
didn't.
you're right. The cop show. Okay, so
He had already taken the
we
car.
have to go
Turn it
way
back a
back
little
here for a
again.
second because Mia and Jamie are at the dance. Mia's getting frisky. And
Yeah,
the principal's
'cause
like,
she-
meh. So
Yeah, she's trying to do stuff while they're on the dance floor.
he's like, you
there.
gotta do that somewhere else. And so they just go out into the parking lot and the principal shows up again. He's like, I mean off school property.
Yeah.
So he takes her home and she just runs right inside. And the parents or her dad's in there and gets a phone call from
Holly.
Holly, who was thinking about the fact that Brent said Lola asked him out,
Right.
and now nobody's seen him since.
Mhm.
So he drives over there, walks in the door, and the whole time I'm like, back up. For the love of fuck, get back
Right,
up.
he
I
saw
know,
blood
I
all
think
over the
people
floor.
are so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
you see what's going... I mean, that something terrible has gone in there. Why are you not calling for backup before you just break into this house? Like, really?
Knocks, nobody answers. I'll just go in. Yeah, he does.
Well,
She
I know
does.
she gets him, but
Did
I
she
mean,
stab
she
him?
got him... I think she got him with the hammer in the head, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
he, like, kind of, like, went...
Fell in.
and fell in.
Which is helpful. It's helpful for Brent. The more bodies that she can throw
Right,
in there,
yeah.
the better. Finally, she leaves, and now Brent's got to figure out how to get out of there. And his solution is to pile up all the bodies and climb out like he
Right.
was doing earlier when he climbed the mountain.
Right, we know he
Bam!
cannot climb.
Good call,
However,
Em.
this whole time, I'm like, how realistic is this? Like, he has had a knife jammed through both of his
I
feet.
know.
He has a hole drilled through his head. He's been put through so much. Is he really able to, like, build up all these bodies, rock climb up there, and get out? And I just feel like he wouldn't even be conscious at that point, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I say no.
Unless he really can handle a lot of pain just because of...
I think just the blood loss alone,
Yeah.
he would be at least passed out.
You know what movie this reminds me of?
What?
The Descent.
I
Almost
haven't-
identical.
I haven't seen The Descent.
Oh, okay, then.
Okay, yeah, don't tell me.
Brent gets out, gets in the car, right? He's got the cop car now.
Yeah, he's in the cop car. No idea why Lola didn't take that. She just thought
Nope.
she'd walk to his
Yep.
house.
Dramatic.
Right.
Listening to Silverstein or something.
Yeah, she's like a cappella singing that song that's like her theme song.
Oh, that she's
basically.
been playing over and over
Yeah.
again.
Am I not pretty enough?
Hey, good job.
Oh yeah, that was it, yeah. So she just happens to stumble across Holly, who's driving down the road, and throw her scrapbook at her,
Yup.
which stops her, and she must shut off the car, because Em was like, hit the gas! Hit, brake, gas, something! But she just sits there and stares at her
Right,
until the two of them
yeah.
start fighting.
That part was funny, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it felt like cat fight kind of thing, you know? They're
I
just
felt like, yeah, despite Lola being a psychopath, she has no idea how to do a fist fight. And
No.
the two of them are just kind of rolling
And I
around.
mean, she's got the knife and everything.
Yeah.
Or,
Daddy usually does it for her.
That's true.
Bitch. Sorry.
Oh, unless that was a different knife, then Brent wouldn't have had the knife then, because she took the knife with her.
Well, there were two.
Were there two knives? Oh, yeah, so maybe
One
he
for
had one
each
and she had
foot.
one, yeah. But it was just, I don't know, it was kind of funny when they were fighting, and then they went out the other door of the car, you know, and...
I get it.
And then
At this
starts
point,
running
I
as
just
he's
wanted
coming in the cop
Yep.
car.
I just wanted it to be over at this
Brent
point.
hits her.
Yeah.
Holly gets in the car with him, and then the two of them like
Well,
back up and hit her in the face.
yeah, but like when he's first going, he's zooming at full speed, and you think he's gonna hit his girlfriend,
Oh,
but
yeah.
luckily he swerves around her and hits Lola. And also, I mean, it's significant that he is driving because he hasn't driven since he killed his dad.
Right. And the exact same thing happened. There was somebody coming down the middle of the street.
Yeah, but this
And-
time it worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some sort of horrific journey that he has to go through to get over the trauma of his dad dying. Holy shit. They run her over and go home, and Brent goes in and sees his mom, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and they try to make it out like some happy ending, but the truth is that Mia, not only was her brother kidnapped and tortured and all of that, now her dad is also dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now...
We don't know if Brent's ever going to talk again.
Brent cannot talk and has a hole in his head, but the last shot is this picture of Holly and his mom and him, and it like zooms in on his face to be like, oh, now it's a happy ending, but it's like his face is only like they didn't show his forehead after he escaped.
Right. Because
you know
it would
mean?
probably be too difficult to show it realistically, because like how do you show a realistic hole in your head? Like it's not going to be, I mean, unless they do CGI and stuff. Like
what you just said, that reminds me of, there was a guy looking for extras for a horror movie in Ohio, and he wasn't paying them, but they had to be like zombies or stuff like that, and I was like, when you said that, I'm like, no pay, will drill hole in head, must be okay with permanent hole in head. Anyway, that's The Loved Ones. Lindsay, it's your pick.
I liked this movie. I thought it was really good. I mean, like, if you're okay with like really disturbing torture scenes in movies and stuff, I guess. But I mean, I feel like it was very well done. Like, all the acting was really good, and the makeup was very good. Like, it wasn't, like, perfection, but I enjoyed it myself. Like, I would definitely watch it again. It was, like, funny at parts, but yet so dark. I mean, I felt like the part with Mia was supposed to bring some, like, lightness to it, but yet it wasn't light, because, I mean, the reason for her being that way was just so horrible. Oh, yeah, and I was gonna... Who do you think the loved ones were? Was it the people in the, like, hole, or was it about the loved ones of the victims? Because, like, you're seeing kind of, like, how the loved ones of the victims are dealing with things in the aftermath.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, when the credits were rolling, wait, why is it called The Loved Ones? No idea.
Yeah, and I was Googling, like, who are the loved ones in the loved ones.
Oh, okay. Was there any explanation?
No answers.
Because I feel like it was probably about, like, the family members and stuff, and that's why Mia is such a big part of it. When you think it seems sort of unrelated, but it's not unrelated.
You know, it could literally be everybody.
It could have, like, a dual meaning. It could be, you know, her, like, Lola and her victims, as well as all the families of the victims.
Yeah. Giving it a 7.5. I liked it.
So I watched, like, some reviews, and this actually has really good reviews, right? Like, 98% is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Horror fans love it, I guess. I'm not a horror fan, so, yeah, it feels weird to be like, well, the acting was really good, and the production was really good, and the, you know, the storyline was, I mean, there were some issues. In fact, some people even said, oh, I really didn't like the whole side story of Jamie and Mia and all that stuff, and that was the part that I liked. I liked the outside storylines that were going on. Yeah. And they were like, get back to torturing Brent, and I'm like, no.
I think they needed to have
You needed to have a break from the torture and stuff. But I guess I kind of came up with this rule that if I give it over a 5, that means I recommend it. If under a 5, then I don't recommend it. So I wouldn't be like, you need to see this movie. So I don't recommend it. Not for my, it's just not my taste. I get it. I get what people like about it, but it's just not my kind of movie. So I'll say 3.5.
I watched this guy the other day on YouTube that he gives his biased rating and his unbiased rating.
Oh, see, yeah.
I think that's kind of a good idea.
Okay, nobody's gonna be mad at you. Trust me, nobody's gonna be mad.
Yeah, because nobody listens to this
That's exactly
show.
right, so you don't have to worry. I give this a 5. It's right in the middle for me. As far as torture horror movies go, this is probably one of the better ones that I've seen. I don't like torture horror movies. Like, Hostel up to this point was the best one I've seen. And that was, like, I've seen it twice, because I was like, what?
I like this better than Hostel.
That's what I was going to say. This is better than Hostel. It has shades of The Descent. It has shades of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The production is amazing. I think they cut away enough from stuff that you don't have to really get, like, real dirty with it like Hostel does, which I appreciate. But I just don't really want to watch a guy have his head held while he's getting drilled. What kind of horror fan am I? But not that kind, I guess. I love violence in horror movies when it's cartoonish. Like Jason, freezing somebody on a spaceship. Hilarious. Someone getting their head drilled while they're screaming, not so much. So, yeah, 5. I'll go to 5. Sorry, Lindsay.
Well, that's okay.
Okay, if you want to get a hold of us, facebook.com/justanotherhorrorpodcast. We are on Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can get a hold of us, email us at, I was doing so good.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
justahorrorpodcast@gmail.com.
Twitter is just horror pod,
But Twitter's going away soon, so yay.
probably.
Yep.
I thought it probably would. But Instagram is just a horror pod.
Yep. Rate, subscribe.
Or we gonna sue your balls to the wall.
Throw me.